So first let me tell you a little bit about binder jetting. It's a relatively new technology in additive manufacturing. The way to think of it is instead of using a laser to kind of melt in place, you take a metal injection molding powder, which is industry standard, commoditized. You basically jet a binder or glue into it and you slowly build up a green part. You then take that green part and put it into an industry standard sintering furnace and you end up getting parts that look like this, right? And so that's kind of the high level how binder jetting works. One of the advantages of binder jetting is it's an area process. If you look at our system, it's a page-wide system, 4x redundancy. We spread back and forth the metal injection molding powder. We then jet the glue in it. And because of that, it ends up being an order of magnitude faster than most laser systems. The other thing is metal injection molding powder is commoditized from the MEM business, and it tends to be quite a bit lower cost. So you put those two together, it depends on your application and material, of course, but it tends to be 5 to 10 times cheaper than any laser-based system today. When we first started this, I thought it was going to be more a replacement of metal injection molding parts, but one of the things that we found with our particular process is because we only use a very small amount of binder, maybe 1%, the green part that we produce is actually mostly air, so we're able to easily sinter it and make very large parts. One of the cool things about binder jetting is that if there's a metal injection molding powder out there in the world somewhere today, it's probably already commoditized, it's already being supplied to that industry. That also means there's a metal injection molding sintering recipe, and so the material breadth for binder jetting is going to be huge. We're starting with stainless steel because that's kind of the workhorse of industrial commercial parts. But what we're finding is kind of no limits when it comes to other types of steels, tool steels, things like cobalt, chrome, precious metals. And so the breadth over time is going to be enormous in the ability to kind of penetrate into the additive manufacturing market.